Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
The holiday season is off and rolling with football in full stride and basketball and hockey hitting midseason form. BetOnline.net is your #1 destination for all your sports wagering info. With up-to-the-minute sports wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions, BetOnline is the top spot for every pro and amateur sports. BetOnline has info available with both desktop and mobile access at any time for almost any sport that is played, including MMA to international soccer. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Now,
the No Fruit Podcast.
yeah.
Hello, everyone. This is Maurice.
And this is Kafa.
We thank you for tuning in today. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Hey, everyone. How are y'all today? You know, we have a very interesting show for you today. You know, before we keep it moving, you know, we really would like for y'all to listen to a little snippet real quick of something, right? It's something that I had seen on Facebook, so I would like for you to listen to the snippet real quick.
And go in a different route, in a different way.
So we're going to rewind.
And, you know, at the end, I remember seeing people married 20 plus years and then getting a divorce. And I said, how can you be married 25, 28, 30 years and then get a divorce? Because ultimately you don't know the person that you've been married to, because as life evolves, you begin to grow and go in a different route, in a different way. And, you know, at the end of the day, 20, 30 years down the line, you look at each other and say, you know what? I don't really know you. I don't necessarily know if I like you. You know, maybe we shouldn't be together.
So I want to know how many of you out there kind of agree with what this gentleman is saying. You know, Kyle and I, we've been married for 20 some odd years now. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have to say that we've had to really work. Really work. And more especially recently, we've had to work even harder, especially with, you know, the kids being out the house. You know, we're it's just us. And so, you know, I'm really curious on what y'all have to say, because I think this is a real conversation that a lot of people need to have.
Well, first, people aren't even, you know, I think it's two groups. You have those that are getting married and they stay married for a year or two.
Right.
Maybe three groups. So you have those that are getting married and stay married just for a short period of time, and then they get a divorce. Mm-hmm. Then you have that group of people who have that commitment but haven't made that commitment, if you will. So they have committed to one another but have not committed to putting that title, that legal side of things, of calling it a marriage and husband and wife type thing. So, and then I think the final group is people like ourselves who did make the commitment and they've been together for 20 plus years or whatever. So I think it's right now, you know, we have all of those things of people who are committed with one person and it looks like a marriage, but they just haven't done that. They haven't gone through the ceremony, or they haven't gone to City Hall or whatever it may be and really made it legal husband and wife. They may be it spiritually, they may be it on every day, and that's how they view each other, but legally they're not that. Right. And then we have those who like just get married all the time. You know, so I think you have those differences there. You know, I think about certain people, you know, in pop culture who got married got divorced, got married to the same person, got divorced, got married to the same person again. I can't remember whose parents in pop culture that happened to, but it's just like, hey, like my parents just got married over and over and over again to each other, you know, and you know, so that's just one thing. But again, as you're saying from this clip, that people are married for 20 plus years. They have gone through a whole lot, just as you and I have. And then something happens. Or maybe something was happening all the way up until that point, and then they make that choice to end it.
So I think what happens, again, like in our case, you know, you have kids.
Right.
You know, so you have a common goal at that time.
Or you have a focus.
Right. You know, so you're raising the kids, so forth and so on. But then once it's just the two of you in the house, and I mean, I have to say, I mean, you know, y'all can ask Kafa, like, I used to question maybe 10 years ago, like, yo, are we going to make it?
Right.
You know, because, you know, when I look and say, hey, you know what are you really into versus what I'm into? Well, we're totally different people. We don't like the same thing. And that was my thought. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, the kids wasn't even out the house yet.
Right.
You know, and I was already looking down the line, I'm like, yo, this might not last long. You know, and that's how I truly felt. You know, I felt that way. You know, but what I have to say for myself, I had to look within me and say, all right, Maurice, what is it about you that, you know, why would you stay versus why wouldn't you stay? You know, and taking into account, Maurice, how much you've changed and what was it about you that she liked from the very beginning? And are you still that person?
Right.
And is that person even still alive within you? You know, yeah, we change. We grow up, you know, at different experiences, different friends, different, you know, lifestyles, so forth and so on.
But at the core.
Right. You know, so how much did you change? You know, again, you know, one of the things that Kyle and I talk about, you know, when we talk to someone that's, you know, newly into a relationship or whatever else, it's like, yo, you do understand you're just dating the representative of, right? You know, you're not even dating the real person yet. And a lot of times that's because some people don't even know who they are yet, you know, especially when, you know, things change when you move in with somebody.
Right.
You know.
They say you never know a person till you live with them.
Right.
You know, their traits and their just different ways, your pet peeves and all those things that it all comes out when you are together. But in reference to these, you know, this clip again where people are together for 20 plus years. So, you know, I'm thinking about there's a football player who's getting divorced, and they've been together for, you know, 20 plus years, I believe. I think, you know, quite a few celebrities in the past, you know, 2-3 years have called it quits. I think Sylvester Stallone and his wife, I think, can't think of some other people, you know, Bill Gates and his wife have been together for a very, very long time, married, and then, you know, hey, whatever the dating and the courting phase was before that. And then what is it that, you know, like you said, is it the kids have all grown up and now where are we and what do we have in common to make this last? You know, what did you get married for in the first place? What drew you to that person? And I think, you know, beyond all of Maurice's thoughts and doubts of what this marriage would look like once the kids grew up and moved out, I think as we said to each other, like we want to date each other again, you know, reconnect, find out who we are. In some ways you change, but in some ways you don't. You know, so yeah, I may not be interested in all of the things that he's interested in when it comes to movies or pastimes or things like that. But as you've heard on previous podcast episodes, I wasn't into football before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But hey, that's my man, that's my boo. Like, there are certain things that I can do and participate in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I turn on a football game now. He like, what you got that on for? Oh, I just wanted to see what's going on. I want to see the score. You know, that type of thing. So I can find some excitement in it. I don't know that much about the team. I don't know what the difference of playing plays. And he's like, oh, that's a blitz. I'm like, I don't know what a blitz is.
Right.
You know, I like the names, you know, especially ones with 3-4 syllables. I just like saying it. I don't know why. But that's just something that, you know, we can sit down together now and enjoy. And when you begin to date each other again, you know, we started this journey 25 years ago, quarter century ago.
Right.
I am totally a different person now. And I can't say totally, I mean, it's still me. But I'm a different person now than I was then. You know, like you said, your representation of yourself or who you think you were at 20 is totally different now that I said 25, so I'm 45. Okay, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, those of y'all know, you know I'm not 45. I'm much older than that. Anyway.
Not much, but a little.
Much. I feel like much. So anyway,
if y'all listen to an old podcast, one of the older shows, you'll maybe the last one, 2
I don't know.
ago, something like that.
Anyway,
you'll know how old she is.
I'm pushing 50. Anyway, so that's right.
Push it real good.
I'm pushing it away. But, you know, so the type of ice cream that I liked at 20 I might still like it, but at 50, it might not agree with me.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So I might have liked long walks at 20, but at 50, long walks might mean long back rubs and long.
I mean, you can still do the walk. You know, it's just,
I'm just
like
saying,
you said,
like,
the aftermath.
Right.
You know, versus so for an example, we can do so for those of you who might have listened to older shows. We talk about our uber long walk from her apartment building to the mall.
Right.
And that must have been a good
it was 2-3 miles maybe.
Yeah, I guess so, but you know, but the walk was long. It was
up and down hills.
But we were young.
Free.
We were enjoying ourselves. We were taking our time. You know, so
we haven't done it since.
No. Because we realized how much of we were suffering from insanity.
Right.
And
we walked all that way. Again, 2 or 3 miles. I wouldn't even say 2. I'm going to say like 3 or 4 miles. We'll have to drive it one day just to see because we're not going to walk it. But we'll have to drive it one day and see how really far it is. But we walked all the way to the mall, y'all, and didn't even go in the mall.
We turned around, came right back.
Went to the mall parking lot and was like, let's walk back.
Right.
Not let's wait for the bus.
We could have.
Let's not call a friend.
Right.
Especially the friend that always called us when they needed a ride.
Right.
Because we were close by. But no, we'll walk all the way back and enjoy the conversation on the way back. So, I mean, that as we got older and began a family, that walk became car rides. So we would get in the car and ride. Then gas prices went up.
And then those rides became to us watching movies on the couch. To be honest, I guess we did do a ride. For those of you who remember Red Box or things like that, we would ride to go get a movie and then turn around and come back. But, you know, I still found reasons to hop in the car.
Right. You know, so, again, it was still there.
It hasn't been. It's only been since I turned 40, I guess. I realized I don't want to even be outside.
But that's what I'm saying. I think, you know, after you turn, again, we're looking at these people who have been together and married for 20, 25 years. Things have changed. So, again, those things that used to bring you joy and pleasure as a couple may not be there.
And one of the things that not too long ago, I believe you listened to this with me, where the person said, yeah, you did, because I listened to it twice, where the gentleman said, hey, you know, you make money basically after a certain threshold, you're no longer really available because you're always in meetings, you're always networking, you're always trying to find a way to make more money, that type of thing.
Right.
So it's almost like a situation where it's like, if you want your relationship to last, stay broke.
Right.
You know, if you're not broke, then you don't have time for that. You know, so, but I think that there are some
I mean, and
people
just
that,
look at it like an Oprah and a Stedman.
right.
They've been together forever, but I don't know. Go ahead.
So, I mean, no, I was going to say, you know, even with that, you know, do you really think that could they be married and just not telling anyone? It's I mean, when you got money or clout, you could do that.
Right.
You get what I mean? Or is it better to have, you know what? I have my space, you have your space, you know, and we're good, you know, but I'm in a different place.
Right.
You know, I don't think, and because I haven't gotten to my $1 billion yet, you know, but once I get to that point, I don't think that's going to change me that much because of what I feel, you know, and I'm not willing to, and some people say, you know, would say like, you know, what are you willing to do for this? Are you willing to do something strange for this change? And I'm not. I don't think it's that deep. You get what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I would love to be better off than where we are, right? But I don't have to sell my soul.
And I don't want to lose all that we have either.
Right.
You know, I don't want to lose our relationship. I don't want to lose our love. I don't think that $1 billion in the bank account is worth that.
Right.
You know.
That's me personally.
Right.
You know, I everything that I wanted, you know, and here's the other part of this too. When you grow up in a broken household, right? And when do you stop the cycle? Let's answer that question. When do you stop the cycle? You know, because you hear all these people say, "Oh yeah, you know, I came up a single parent home. I'm ready to go make this money, yada yada yada, and I want something different." But eventually, you end up repeating the cycle again. You know, so I think that's what the challenges are. You know, and I think I heard another video the other day. I think it was Bun B. But he said, you know, you have these guys that are married, and you're married to this lady, and as y'all get older, she becomes a 7, right? You know, you married her, she was a 10, but as she's getting older, you know, things are changing, this, that, and the other, but she becomes a 7 in your eyes. You know, you relax with her, all that type of stuff. But here's the reality, though. She's still a 10 in someone else's book. You get what I mean? You know, so, and keep in mind that as you start to slip away from her, someone else is slipping right in, right?
Right, and that might be why these couples at 20 years are getting divorces, or, you know, again, are they dating? Are they having those conversations? Like, you know, Maurice and I have had, you know, since the kids have been away, like we've been able to date and to really have adult conversations without young, impressionable ears around.
And these conversations hurt.
Right.
Point blank, they hurt.
They're very therapeutic. Very deep, you know.
I mean, it's stuff where it's like, you know, and if you are not secure in who you are, you will cry. That doesn't mean we haven't cried. You get what I mean? You know, whether it was in front of each other or behind the scenes, it doesn't mean that hasn't happened. But we've gotten to a point where it's like, yo, my feelings hurt. You get what I mean? But here's the reality, though. For me, this is the type of person I am. If you can dish it, you can receive it. Right? You know, so, but also understand, I'm not saying anything to hurt your feelings either. You know, no, we're not playing that revenge, vindictive, whatever. No, tell me how you feel. I receive that, right? Because I'm not perfect. And I'm not going to sit here and play like I am. You get what I mean? You know, so me, especially me being the man in a relationship, you know, and I guess, taking my alpha role, if you will, you have to say, hey, you know what? We're not going to tolerate this opportunity or this moment where it's going to destroy what we have.
Right, become negative. I mean,
Right.
You want to take it and use that time to become positive and
Right.
learn from it,
Right.
from whatever past hurts, as Maurice was saying, you may have, because we all enter relationships with baggage.
Right.
We all have something from previous relationships, whether it's from parental relationships or work relationships or just classroom, from your teacher, wherever it is, you have something that you're bringing in with you, and you have to work through it.
Right.
And it does change. Like I just said, hey, the ice cream was one thing when I was 20, and it's different when you're 40 and 50 years old. Likewise, the way I perceived life and what I wanted out of life was different at 20 than it is when I'm 50.
Mm-hmm.
What I expected out of my husband and my spouse is different than, now versus then. What I thought parenthood would be, what I thought motherhood would be, what I wanted my children to do, and how I was going to encourage them or motivate them is totally different, because now you see the real who they are, and you have to operate with that. And, it changes. And I think people get stuck in it and thinking that it's always going to remain the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And marriage grows.
Right.
Life grows. You change. Like if you're not changing, then something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're stagnant. You're not growing. And we should always be growing, always be evolving in ourselves as well as in our marriage. And hopefully not growing apart.
Right.
So I think that's, what happens is people begin to grow apart, their values, or I think, hopefully it's something deeper than just like, hey, you used to always like chocolate ice cream. Now you don't like it no more, so I want a divorce.
I mean, and what I have to say about that, I think that's a great point, Kaf, because there's a lot of things that you bring to me, you've purchased or whatever else, and I'm like, I'm not feeling that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? But I'm not going to be in that, you say the juice is sour, it used to be so sweet, it's like that mindset.
Right.
So, I don't, you don't want her walking away or going away, feeling that way.
Right. And it's a way to address it.
Right.
And to say like, hey, or whatever it might be, but you just have to find a way to do it so that it doesn't come off negative and unappreciative.
Right.
But just say, hey,
and
the juice is sour.
And I see, you're right. And I think one last thing, and I used to say this back in the day,
right,
about reading your own press clippings, right, and being impressed by that. Because if you're really impressed by what other people have to say, if you're really impressed by that, then you're easily swayed on moving on to something else that's probably not even there. You do you understand what I'm saying, where I'm getting at? Because if someone says, oh yeah, you look good, but your spouse isn't doing that, well, do you even understand why your spouse is not even saying it? Is it really a situation of them not even paying attention? Are they preoccupied? What's the real deal? What's really going on? Did you just finish yelling and screaming at that individual, right? Mm-hmm. And they might still think that you look nice, but they're not going to tell you because they're upset. They'd rather chop you in your throat.
Right. Again, as I said, we're always changing. So
right.
Did you change and your spouse not feeling the way you changed? So again, that's just communication in things. So, having that communication like, hey, I noticed you started wearing this and I'm not feeling it. I don't think that, is appealing or that type of thing. I'm not attracted to that. And they can explain why they're wearing it.
Right.
But again, if they're wearing it because somebody on the outside is saying it looks nice, then again, hey, have that conversation. Are you trying to attract those on the outside, or are you trying to keep your own spouse engaged and attracted to you in, multiple ways. So I don't know. Y'all guys, let us know what you're thinking on marriage after 25 years.
I mean, we're not at 25 yet, but, it's that idea, what is that like? What is it like for you that as you approach it or once you've passed it, what are your feelings? How are you looking at it? How are you going about it? Do you still feel the same way? Do you think you will still feel the same way? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that can take the information that we're shared tonight and grow from it, just like from, we can grow from what your experiences also.
Right.
So we appreciate y'all.
Please share, like, subscribe, hit us up, let us know what you're thinking. We love you. Have
Talk
a good
to y'all.
one.
This week's episode has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.